Hi, this is Allison Lee Rosenfeld, and you may know me as the voice of Bonnie from Pokémon, and you are watching Anime Egotists. Will you please take care of my big brother? Happy watching!
What's bonkin', guys, and welcome back to Anime Egotists. My name's Alex, and if I was Professor Birch, I'd probably like to just play with Pokemon too. Like, why would I want to sit at a desk?
I completely agree. That's the only way to be a professor is field research. And I'm Richard.
That's correct. And we're back with one of my favorite types of videos we do. That's right. I've been the spiel. You guys know when we take game characters and put them into the Pokemon anime. We did this for Ethan on his own. We did it for Lucas, Callum, Victor and Gloria, well, sort of, Elio and Celine. But now we get to somebody else.
Yeah, one of your least favorite. Nah, I can't say that. That's too mean. One of your absolute favorite characters.
About to say, man. I went to your wedding for nothing if that's the case. But that's right. We're talking about Gen 3 with Brendan and the Advanced Generation anime, one of the most disrespected anime of all time. No, I'm not taking any other answers.
Yeah, it's taken a while for them to get it uploaded anywhere really accessible. So yeah, I can definitely agree to that.
Slowly but surely on YouTube. But if that's the case, we're here to talk about Brendan in the Ruby Sapphire anime. Now, we've done this before, but it was like two characters each. And while in some cases I'd like to think there's a certain charm to that, I also understand that people are like, yeah, just split them up. So just split them up, my guy.
Yeah, it was a little confusing thinking back on that video because I spent my entire side pretty much talking about Ethan. You spent your entire side talking about Brendan. There was very little back and forth, so now we have a bit more chance to discuss ideas. And
yeah, and now we don't have. Now if this is terrible, we don't really have an excuse because yeah. But before we begin, just want to say I'm trying to do my best to pronounce this. Thanks to Wander Toys for the thumbnail because yeah, this has been done for a while now, and they tweeted out, and everyone's like, "When's the video happening?" I'm like, dang, guess we kind of have to hurry up with that. But in all seriousness, very much thank you for the thumbnail.
yes, thank you very much.
All right, shall we begin?
Yep. So where do you want to start?
Well, I guess like most things, we should start at the beginning because starting at the middle doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So Brendan, in not really a character who a lot of people will characterize the same way, but since you seem to love doing it this way, and because because I liked it from last time, we're making him cocky. We're making him not in love with himself, but very much he wants to be the best. He sees himself as the best at times, and because we can't have everybody be a goody two shoes.
Yeah, that was I think one of the problems with the Advanced Generation was a lot of the like rivals were all except for Maze. Maze, all her rivals were cocky. So never mind. But if he's Ash's rival, then he can be cocky because Ash really lost cocky rivals at this point.
Yeah, and so and some of you might be thinking, well, what's his role going to be? Is he going to be like? What's he going to be like? And I'm just like, well, he's going to be Ash's rival because, as we talked about, as much as I enjoy the Advanced Generation anime, Ash, the lack of rival for Ash, you could argue, was a little bit of a hindrance.
Yeah, because Morrison really doesn't come in until towards the end of the series. He's very late for a rival in the Pokemon anime.
Yeah, and there are people out there who go, in hindsight, I actually don't think Ash needed a rival because of this. And to an extent, I might be able to vibe with that, but at the same time, this video would be very short if that's what we agreed on. So, yeah, he's Ash's main rival.
Yeah, which I don't think we've done with any of them as, like, the big rival. Everybody else has something else that they're kind of focused on, so
exactly. So we're doing things a little bit differently today. Hey, but he's cocky, but he's not a bad person. He's actually a really sweet guy once you get to know him. But I'd like to say maybe similar to Johnny Lawrence from I was gonna say Cobra Kai, but technically Karate Kid does count. Now, a little bit of an ego, but deep down he is a sweet person. It's just he's been through some stuff.
So I guess if we're starting at the beginning, where are we going to have him start out? Is he going to the lab similar to May at the start, or where do you place him.
I don't know why I have this, but I have him showing up like maybe a minute or two after Ash and May leave. He's like, hey, I'm here to get my starter. And of course, well, Torchic's not there. Not like he would get Torchic, but Torchic wouldn't be there.
So is he annoyed that he doesn't get a full choice? He has to choose between Mudkip and Trico?
I feel like he already knows which one he wanted, but he's making a big deal about it. It's just like, no, I already know what I want. Mudkip, you're with me. Once again, it might sound like bias because it's my favorite starter, but in all honesty, why would he pick Trico if Ash has Trico? And why would he pick Torchic if May already has Torchic? That wouldn't sit right for me.
Yeah, and while I like Brock having Mudkip, this doesn't prevent him from having one either.
No.
So it'll be interesting, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and despite how he is Brendan's the type of person who, if Professor Birch seems like the type of person who he likes all of his, I guess, students, I guess, in a sense. I don't really know what to call them in that case. And I guess he has an assistant named Josh who was just like, oh, best of luck on your journey. And Brendan's like, okay, sure. Or he takes Mudkip and he wants to do the gym challenge every other rival he wants to. He meets up with Ash and the gang every now and then, and he doesn't fully connect with them at first. Because, look, as much as I love cocky characters who can be comedic but also nice in some cases, part of being cocky is being a little bit of a jerk.
Yeah, that's why like the Gary smell you later or the Trip. Trip has his moments, but Paul especially has his I'm here for specifically for powerful Pokemon kind of mindset, but it works as a good foil to Ash's view of the world.
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily, he's not pushing them into puddles or shoving them in lockers or anything like that, but he is kind of like, oh, wow, I thought you would have caught that Pokemon by now, May. Guess not. And he's kind of pushy about it, and it could even be a case of his Mudkip and Ash's Trico have a little bit of rivalry. Trico's cool, but also kind of serious and determined, while Mudkip's a little more laid back.
Okay. I could see them that would be an interesting rivalry, because it is Mudkip's biggest weakness is Trico in the grass type.
Yeah, and while he doesn't he's not perfect. I'm not saying he's the type of guy to trip on his own shoelaces, but at the same time, he makes some mistakes. He's still kind of he can be smart, but still have some rookie tendencies. That makes perfect sense. At the same time, if somebody were to get in his face, he'd be he's the type of person who handles insults. Okay, you're gonna insult me, I guess I'll just fight back. Heck, and because sometimes it's kind of a case of, oh, you're fighting fire with fire. Sometimes it works, but also sometimes it's a little bit of an issue. But meanwhile, if somebody ever says, hey, appreciate you helping me, you're a good guy, Brendan kind of huh? He doesn't know how to process it.
Okay. So tell me if you think this would work for him.
Sure.
And the idea I had just now was that he is the Gen 1, Gen 2 rival where he still has an attitude even after you beat him. He's cocky about oh, you won because of this random thing and blaming it on anything other than you being better than him.
Yes, I'm okay with that. The one thing I would say though is he never blames his Pokemon. He's maybe down the series he's hey, I may have lost, but it's not because your Pokemon are better than mine. Maybe I just made a mistake or two. First time for everything.
Yeah, I kind of want him to remain cocky because thinking back through all of the rivals, none of them take that route quite, as far as I remember. Because Ash never really beats Gary until the end of their rivalry, so he can remain cocky. Trip beats Ash usually, but until the end. So it's Ash never really wins until the end, and then the rival remains cocky. Paul a little bit maybe, but
yeah. That said, I would have it be a back and forth rivalry. Brendan wins some battles, Ash wins some battles, because Ash winning at the very end, I'd be oh, you beat me once, and I've beaten you the past 5 times. I'm not sure that settles anything.
Yeah, I definitely think Ash wins the first time. Just
sure.
I like that as it sets Brendan up for he's annoyed that Ash beat him. despite Ash having experience and actually having growth at this point in the series.
Yeah, but speaking of Ash, it could kind of also be a case of, hey, you two, like, since I already brought up the Karate Kid franchise, it's like a case of, hey, look, you two butt heads, but at the same time, you're a lot more similar than you think. Because I love Ash and I love how much he matured, but but he kind of got a big head sometimes. This is the same, and he could also be dumb. This is the same guy who looked at Trico and asked if it was a water type. So, yeah.
So, okay, I could see Brendan being like this, like annoyed that Ash makes stupid decisions despite being like more experienced than him.
Yeah, like if he picks Mudkip, it's like, oh, so you already know Mudkip's a water type. I'm like, well, yeah, yeah. You'd have to be totally stupid to assume it was anything else. Like, what? Mudkip's the water type, Trico's the grass type. What? Come on, you'd have to be totally stupid to get something like that wrong.
Oh god, that would be hilarious in these series.
Yeah, and you just see Ash like, hey, Ash, what's going on? It's like, no, I just felt like someone was talking about me. Oh well.
Let's see. So okay, we kind of. How would he react to some of the Ash's other traveling companions? Like, how would he treat May, Max, and Brock?
Okay, so at first, I think it's kind of a case of they kind of treat Brendan similar to Harley. Like no one really likes him at first, but the difference is Brendan's actually a good kid who wants to help people. Like maybe it's a case of there's there's danger going on and Max is about to fall, but Brendan saves him, and like maybe Max is still freaking out when they're trapped in a cave, and Brendan's like, hey, it's gonna be okay. Hey, don't worry, I'm gonna make sure we're safe. And then from that moment on, like him and Ash are battling. And Max will be like, oh, that's Brendan's strategy. Man, Brendan's so cool. And Brendan kind of gets distracted. He's like, huh? Like, Brendan does not know how to handle compliments from people. We'll get into why a little bit later.
Okay. I could see him and Brock getting, like, eventually getting along when, like, discussing specifically, like, Mudkip, like, after Brock gets his.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, maybe it's a case of Brendan, you will see him making Pokemon food or making food for himself, and it's not terrible, but it's not exactly impressive. And Brock will kind of be like, here, try this. And like Brock actually teaches him how to make better Pokemon food, and eventually just better food for himself to the point where everyone tries Brendan food and it's like, I mean, it's okay. And then it gets to like Food Wars level stuff. In terms of the quality, not in terms of the reactions from people. Well, because this is a family show.
Yeah, okay. I could see that, like him getting the like being able to take care of himself and actually properly do it. I could see it being one of those things where if it's like the Pokemon food part, Brock teaches him, oh well, Mudkips usually like this. You're giving them this berry instead in the food. You need to swap it out for this, and him like teaching him which berries are best for food.
Yeah, and it gets where Brock's like, I'm really proud of you at this point. Someone's like, yeah, your food's even better than Brock's, and Brock's like, huh, what? Come again?
He gets a fiery determination, and he's like, and Brock declares Brendan his rival.
It's just like, oh, no, this is a bad idea. They have a food competition, and everyone's like, who cares who won? We're getting free food nonstop. Give me some more of that, man.
They each have a sous chef, so it's like Ash and Brock versus May and Brendan in the cook-off.
Oh god, well if he's on May's dragging them down. May's Purple Surprise almost killed a handful of those Pokemon.
Yeah.
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 That's it though.
Maybe it was Max then. Maybe Max.
That's
Brock.
it. Speaking of May, I feel like at first, like I'm keeping the idea of, he doesn't see contests as that big of a deal, and maybe at some time, like he says something kind of insensitive at first, kind of putting them at odds. And hey, we brought in Silver for the Ethan video. So, and you said you'd be cool with me bringing Wally, not to be the main character or anything, but just like popping up every now and then.
Yeah. So, okay.
Yeah, he could teach Wally, hey, look, your parents don't want you to go out and travel on your own, and that's because they love you. But what do you want to do? And he could help him catch Ralts. Apparently in the game it was supposed to be a Ponyta, but they went with Ralts instead. Yeah, you learn something new every day.
Yeah, no, I did not know that. Didn't expect it either.
No. Also, apparently Wally was supposed to be the 7th gym leader after his development, which I don't know if it would have been better or worse, but maybe that's another point for another day.
That is interesting. don't know how I feel about that.
No, me either. Sure, but maybe it's a case of like Wally could even be like, "Hey, so like you're not, it's just you on your own," and he's like, and Brendan says, "Yeah." It's just like, well, what about? And maybe it's after May wins her first or second ribbon. And it's just like, well, she seems kind of mad at you. It's just like, and it's kind of a case of it's like, look, maybe you're a nice guy deep down. You probably are. You helped me, but maybe you could try to be a little bit better. And Brendan's like, oh, so looks up to me. It's like, oh, you won a contest. It's like, yeah. It's like, why do you care? It's just like, well, maybe, maybe I was kind of rough. I'm sorry. And she got, and that's her first kind of moment of realizing, okay, he's not that bad. He really is not that bad.
Yeah, especially compared to her other people that are mean to her, Drew and Harley and all
To
them.
be fair,
Yeah.
Harley does it for the love of the game. I low key respect it, but Brett, like, it's a mix of, hey, I'm picking on you, but I genuinely do want you to succeed. Hey, maybe it's even a case of kind of similar to the manga. It's like, oh, I want to get all of my badges before you get all of your badges and before you get all your ribbons. But like, if he ever saw them struggling, he'd be like, all right, what do you need me? What do you need? What do you need?
And I like that idea where he develops kind of a rivalry with May and Ash about like just completing their quest right now first. So he want like I can see him starting out behind Ash, and he's like, "I'll get all my badges before you," and he's constantly like behind until towards like about the halfway point. Then he's getting him about the same time as Ash.
Yeah. Yeah. At the same time, that said, would we? I asked this before. Would we have any gym battles that we would see? Hey, part of me, like I said last time, it's like maybe Tate and Liza, so we get the taste of Thunder Armor out of our mouths. But there's yeah.
No, I could see Tate and Liza would be an interesting one. I could also see the Four Tree City Winona fight
Where I was
being
about
really
to say,
interesting.
not the one I thought you were gonna say because there's an obvious one that both of us are just kind of dancing around.
Are you talking about Petalburg?
Yeah, actually, I was talking about what? Yes, I was talking about Petalburg City.
Yeah, like they just I feel like that needs to be stay remain focused on uh May and Max and their relationship with their dad and then Ash and all that. Although I don't know how I feel about
There's
Max
only
stealing the
one
badge.
way I think it could work because, and I'm borrowing a little bit of this from the manga, is it's because in the manga, when Sapphire's getting all of her badges, the last one she gets is Norman's, because apparently he's just that strong. Maybe Brendan tries against Norman at first, loses, and then it's like, you know what, I'm gonna come back later, and that's the last badge he gets. But that's just an idea that was tossing around.
Okay, I can see it. Interesting. So he does it in a different order than
Yeah.
uh
Yeah, maybe
Ashy.
he even says, you know, you don't have to do these in a set order, right? Right? You knew that, right? It's just kind of saying it, and like, look, why? If you're doing this in the exact order, that's fine. But if you want to dance around, that's fine.
Yeah, so like he could get like the slate for do we want him to get any badges that are like completely unique, kind of like what Gary does where he has 10 badges at the
I never even thought about that, but if it makes you happy, sure.
I could see him getting one that's a different badge from somewhere else in the region that we never get to see. We don't know what type it is. It's just another badge.
Yeah, something like that. But but like I said, and Wally wouldn't be that involved with the story. I feel like Wally might be more involved with Brendan during the Team Magma, Team Aqua arc because yeah. Look, as much as I've rewatched that arc, and it's a lot better than I remember it being, but at the same time, like it's pretty weak in some areas.
Yeah, they don't do the best job because they switch so much. Well, they concentrate mostly on Team Magma at the start, and comes in a little bit more towards the middle, but yeah.
Yeah, and but thinking more about him personally, like I still like the idea of he's like, hey, if a kid is asking him for something, he's not being mean to the kid. Like he'll get down there like, hey, well, all right, what do you need? He's a night, and whenever people and someone's like, oh, you're such a sweet boy, like he could blush and be like, I just didn't want him to start crying over it. Like he's a tsundere, but in like a more relatable way, and like I say, oh, he just doesn't know how to take compliment. And so, like, maybe he runs off in his running shoes when people start saying nice stuff. He's just like, oh, huh. Is he coming back? No.
Okay. I did have one idea. Let me know what you think.
There.
Him being like a former student of the Rustboro gym school thing that they have there,
Yeah,
and
sure.
like him having like that's kind of where that kid like wanting to help them out is. He was a recent graduate, so he's like, oh, I got to take care of the kids still.
Yeah, yeah. And I did think it would be funny if every time he runs off from help from somebody saying something nice, he just gets progressively faster with his running shoe. It gets to the point where it's like, oh, he's in a completely different region now. What happened?
Yeah, it's just like blink, blink. By the way, this is Sinnoh. Blink. And just a Starly goes flying by, then it cuts back.
He runs
By
into
the way,
Lucas
this
and
is the introduction.
Lucas is like, "Do I know you?" And he just keeps running. It's just like, "Oh gosh, this isn't good."
Then it just pops up coming soon.
He runs to the ore region, sees a shadow Pokemon. I'm like, this is. I don't think this is my game. Just runs back. Oh, but
That's
then again, I didn't have anything specific with Team Rocket, but I do think it was okay. I did think it was just like, look, he's much more open to call them stupid. It's just like, okay, I don't know what's worse, the fact that this plan makes no sense, or the fact that that these guys actually fell for it. That says a lot. It's like, hey, no one calls us losers but us. I'm like, so you're admitting it? All right, cool.
I could see that. I also think that it would be really interesting if there's like a scene where one of the Team Rocket focused episodes where it's like they get blasted off from Ash and the team, then it cuts to them landing in front of Brendan. Brendan attacks them, they get blasted off again, just like away.
Please stop sending them my way. At the same time,
He's
though,
just annoyed by them.
I do like I said, I do like the idea of some of these characters breaking the fourth wall. Like he could be singing to himself at some point as he's walking by. Prepare for trouble, make it double. Where'd that song come from? Oh well.
He only like vaguely remembers that that's their motto.
Oh my! He could even be, let's say, as like, so Meowth, how can you? You know what? Never mind. Don't want to know. It's like you're not even gonna finish the question. No.
He's like the one of the least surprised people that Meowth can talk.
It's just like I'm more. It's just like, I mean, yeah, we have psychic Pokemon that use telepathy. This isn't that crazy to me.
Okay.
That's said. Okay, so I'm gonna be 1,000% honest. I had an idea for a backstory, and it's a little bit out there, but if you say yes to it, that's fantastic, and I look like a genius. If you say no, fuck.
Okay, well, let's hear it then.
All right, so whenever people do videos like this, they always say, "Oh, Brendan could be the son of Professor Birch," and that would be wonderful. But that's not really where my head was at.
Yeah, when I kind of figured that was, well, that is the game story. If you're not the son of Norman or daughter of Norman, you're the son or daughter of Birch. So I was interested to see what you would go with.
Yeah, so I talked about last time. It's like, oh, his parents weren't really around that much, and I kind of start to think, is it just because they were bad parents? That's not fully all that interesting. There has to be a reason for it, and the reason they weren't around. And like I said, it's a little bit out there, but I want you to hear me out for it.
Okay.
His mom and his mom and dad, it doesn't matter which one was which, were an Aqua member, Team Aqua member, and a Team Magma member.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Well, you're not visibly puking on screen, so I guess you don't hate it.
Well, they kind of have that in the ORAS games, isn't it? That they have in the post game. Isn't there a couple that are like they fell in love fighting each other?
Maybe, honestly, it's been so long since I played ORAS, which makes me physically sad. But it could be a case of, oh, they fell in love, but they didn't say anything because, well, Team Aqua and Team Magma kind of hate each other. And rather than ending like Romeo and Juliet, which was be absolutely way too dark for a show like this, it could just be a case of, oh, well, maybe it's a case. This part I had trouble coming up with. Maybe Brendan, they gave him up for adoption. Maybe he ran away. I couldn't come up with it because it was like, oh, well, his parents didn't take the best care of him, but they're not evil, malicious people. They love him dearly, but it's just a case of it's just like it wasn't working, and Brendan's on his own now.
I could see it being maybe they left him with some like somebody who wasn't affiliated in the family, like an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent, and but they're still alive, but he felt like he was a burden on them, so he ran away.
Yeah, and also it's a case of it's like deep down he's always known they're Aqua and Magma members. So deep down it's kind of a case of it's just like deep down he's thinking, wow, they probably did some bad stuff. So what does that reflect on me in some way? But maybe deep down it's a case of, well, if they wanted me, wouldn't they? And that's when things get kind of sad. But at the same time, it could also be a case of maybe Professor Birch sees him and he takes a vested interest in him, and Brendan never really knows how to react to it, but like he still likes the attention, but like I said, it's hard for him to open up. Like deep down, maybe he could say at one point, it's just like, I'll just take care of it on my own. That's what I usually do, and that's when people are like, oh, do you want to talk about it?
Okay. I would love though that his parents show up in the Team Magma, Team Aqua arc, and they're literally like so stereotypical, like whichever one's on the Team Aqua side is like, we must expand the oceans, and like very excited about it, and the others like about Team Magma is like, we must expand the land, and they're very much like into it.
Yeah, and he's just like, it's just at first he might not recognize them depending on how young he's been when it happened, but they recognize instantly, and they're just like, you've grown up. But it's also kind of a case of it's like, hey, what? My childhood sucked thanks to you guys. It's not necessarily it. We could talk about it later, but let's just say he's not exactly jumping to see them again because like when you get hurt by some people, you need an apology, and it takes some time.
Yeah, I could see that. Him needing space, and like both of them are trying to get him to join their side, and he's like, no, neither of you. You're both idiots.
Yeah. At the same time, though, it's not all doom and gloom. It's not all doom and gloom. He starts growing really close with the twerps. They don't have an official team name, so I always just call them the twerps. And it gets to the point where it's like he sees May and how she's doing, and he legitimately wants her to get better. Like maybe I never really thought about it, like maybe as time progresses is like, because it starts off he doesn't really care about her contest and he wants to win, but it gets to the point where it's like, oh, well, she's getting closer and closer. Maybe she just needs a push. Like maybe right before the end, maybe at some point when Harley's picking on her, or he even gets in Harley's face, like, hey, you're pissing me off, dude. Go worry about your own Pokemon. If you ever mess with May like that again, I'll mess you up. And that's when everybody's kind of like, what was that? And deep, like he genuinely loves his friends in his life, but he has a hard time expressing it.
I like that. I would like to see him like he has some sort of Pokemon that is the same as May's and matches, like uses her whatever contest move she develops for like the battle to look good. He uses it in a gym battle to like win the battle. It's such like somehow it turns into a sneaky move he can use.
Yeah, because I do think as good of a trainer as he is, he doesn't think like a normal trainer. Like sometimes it can be like, hey, if it distracts you or if it annoys you enough to get me the win, I'm doing it. It's not playing dirty per se, but it's not exactly playing fair either.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like because I'm trying to remember what all like May's Pokemon would work.
She had.
We have to wait till the Battle Frontier.
Oh, well, we'll get to Battlefront. We'll get to the Battle Frontier, but he could also help. Ash could also help teach him, like, hey, like, look, you've been through a lot, but at the same time, you can still be kind to people. Not that he's a monster or anything, but maybe decides to be a little more patient with his Pokemon at one point. Like, hey, like he sees one of his Pokemon working really hard and kind of puts a head on his head, like, hey, it's okay, it's okay. You did your best. Let's take a little bit of a break. hey, while maybe he helps teach Ash in some cases, like in Petalburg City when the people were monsters to him, just be like, hey, do not. Brendan's like, do not care what these people think about you. We're the ones who are going to be moving on. They're nobodies, and he says it loud enough that everybody hears. And this is at the point where he's friends with May and Max. He's just like, they're losers. Well, oh come on, you guys know I like you, but like these people are animals. I don't know. I want him keeping
Okay.
a little. I want him. Look, he can be the nicest guy in the world, but I still want him keeping a little bit of a. I need a little bit of an edge from you people because like I said, the people of Petalburg City all need to be locked up. They're
During
not good
that
people.
specific arc.
It's like, hey, we could save the war. We'll save the whole Hoenn region. Like, does that include Petalburg City? Yes. And Brendan's like, and someone's like, Brendan. Brendan's like, I'm thinking. Yeah, okay, let's do it.
I can see them also like getting like treating him terribly too.
Yeah, and you would think he'd be like, oh, that's so terrible. He's just like, no, I revel in it. I revel in it. And maybe at some point May can be like, hey, can you guys be a little bit nicer to him? He's not that bad. And then one of the people could be like, oh no, not our princess. Our princess has fallen in love with this kid. And they're both like, absolutely not. Please stop.
So, do we have ideas for like any other like places he would encounter them? Like specifically, there are specific moments you want him to come in at during the series?
I thought about I don't remember. I guess technically it's a filler episode. The episode where, like, I would have him pop up regularly against Team Magma, not Team Aqua. Like they seem to focus at Team Aqua more on Ash and friends, but Team Magma would focus more on Brendan's side of things, and even Max could be like, there's something about this child that makes me uneasy because like maybe deep down he knows, hey, I know who you are. But the cool thing about Archie and Maxie was they weren't bad. Well, okay, they weren't great people, but they had morals to them. So deep down, it's like Maxie would destroy Brendan pretty easily as when they first started. And then at the end of it, Brendan could win and be like, hey, you see what's going on with Team Aqua? We have to fix that. If you really care about the safety and well-being of your team members, which you seem to, you'll put a stop to this and help us out.
Okay. Would there be like full episodes you think focused more on him? Like we start out with the team and then it's like, oh, cut to Brendan.
Sure. We've done that for every other game character. Why not? Why stop now?
Very true.
Yeah, maybe there's even there's like, because they seem to do this all the time. There's an episode where everybody gets split up, and he's stuck with May and Wally. And while they're kind of at each other's throats at times, Wally's the one who's figuring things out. And maybe Brendan has a Pokénav that Wally borrows. It's like, wait, Max, are you there? Oh yeah, we're all stuck. We're all here. Don't worry, we're okay. Maybe he even says something that's like, yeah, once May and Brendan stop flirting, we'll get right back to you guys. And Brendan's like, I want to hit you, but you're practically my protege, but I still want to hit you.
You know what? And he just grabs a stick. Does it count if I beat you with a stick?
It's just like I choose me, and I'm gonna use stick. Let's go. But I would also, I don't know why I decided to, I would also have it as just, because they always had May be obsessed with, not obsessed, but she's like, oh, I always want to help people who are a blossoming romance. And Brendan gets super nervous when it comes to romance. Like, he catches it faster than anybody. Like, if two people are talking to each other, he can sense immediately, oh no, these two like each other, but they haven't said it yet.
So he's like, he can tell it, like he's not necessarily the opposite of May because May can kind of see it too, but he sees it even before her, but he doesn't say anything.
Yeah, like if two people are talking, he'll just be like, he could just be shaking, like, oh no, like it's happening again, and they're like, what's going on? And after they finally get together, it's like, wow, you're a lot more, like, he's better at helping than Brock is. Not that Brock's that helpful in the beginning. It's just like, wow, next time we have a problem, we're gonna go to you instead of May, and May gets super annoyed at him for it.
I'm trying to think of like other points that it might make sense for him to be like big into.
There literally were two characters named Romeo and Juliet in one episode. Once again, why do they use those names? I got little sidebar. That story does not have a happy ending. I promise you, it doesn't.
Oh, I always just read until like the plan, and then it's over usually, right?
Oh well, in a sense, yes, but it doesn't have the ending that you think it does. It doesn't have the. Oh my god, what were 4Kids thinking? I could say that about a lot of things they did, but yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess there's another character we can always.
Yeah, 4Kids is interesting.
Yeah, Drew, you remember him, right? Okay, so
yeah, he's your absolutely worst favorite character.
yeah, he's not fantastic, and I let him know that every day. But Brendan and Drew could kind of have a similar. Like at first, they could kind of be like, "Oh, so you're traveling with them?" And he's like, "No, I'm not. I'm on my." Oh, and at first, it kind of comes across as like they don't really like each other, but like Brendan could be like, "Yeah, I don't like how you pick on May. That's my job." And Drew could be like, "Well, think about." Or you could even flip it, and Drew's like, "Yeah, you pick on May a lot." And Brendan's like, "Well, let's think about it this way. When you're around, you can pick on her. When I'm around, I can pick on her. We stay out of each other's way, and we can mess with her whenever she wants." And Drew's like, "That's evil. I like you."
Deal. They shake hands and then completely part ways.
But I would have, and you could even still have Brendan like popping up and seeing May's contests as they're happening. He doesn't have to be in the crowd for every one of them. That might be a little too much, but but he does care. He doesn't show up at the first Grand Festival, but he shows up at the second one because the first one was like, "Oh, you need to be invited." I'm like, "What? This isn't a public. You can't just go on your okay, sure, I guess."
I could see, and then like yeah, him pausing, and it's a scene of him watching it on TV, like what they do in all the later series.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe even for the second one during the Battle Frontier, Wally's there too. He's like, "Yeah, we were going to catch some other Pokemon together there, but Brendan kept saying, 'Oh, we have to go support May. Hey, we have to go.'" Oh, and Brendan's like shaking. He's just like, "Can you please just? I didn't say it. I didn't. I just brought tissues in case she starts crying or something." It's just like, no, you did it because Brendan's legitimately a sweet guy.
Yeah. So interesting question, and we don't. It's not necessarily how to put it for the because you may not be ready to talk about Battle Frontier. Is he taking part in the Battle Frontier, or did he just go to Kanto to take on the gym challenge in Kanto?
He competes in the Battle Frontier. I was fully dude. I rewatched the whole series in preparation for this video. It took way too long, and I'm drained. But I said Battle Frontier.
Okay, I wanted to ask because I was like, that could be interesting, where he's just in Kanto taking on the gym challenge there.
Yeah, I thought about it, but at the same time, I'm also like, why would he not want to do the Battle Frontier? That's a massive opportunity to be like, hey, maybe it's a case of Scott recruits Ash, and then like maybe deep down he found a way to figure out where the Battle Frontier things are happening, and whether Scott recruited him or not, he's like, I'm doing it. It's kind of a way of saying, hey, you don't invite me somewhere, well, I'm kicking the door down and doing it anyway.
Okay, I like that idea. Like he wasn't like supposed to do it, but he found a way to do it himself.
Yeah. Heck, maybe Wally finds his Pokédev and goes, "Here you go. It's gonna be right here." It's like, wait, but it's just like he's like, "Yeah, I know we're rivals, but I want to help you out. I want you. I'm not competing." Maybe Wally does the gym challenges instead, and he's the Kanto gym challenges instead. It's like, if I want anybody to reach the top of the Battle Frontier, I want it to be you. And Brendan doesn't really like. He's like, really? He like it takes him a minute to process, but he's genuinely grateful for it.
Okay, I like that. I could also I guess now that we're in Battle Frontier for the timeline, this kind of jumps all the way to the end, but I could see him beating Brandon before Ash does.
Oh, 100%.
And I think that's part of like what drives Ash to like all the extremes that he goes to for that.
Skeptile, get behind the referee. You would like to think that Skeptile would be like, something's wrong. Something's wrong here. Maybe I'll just say no. Oh my God, that's
Yeah,
one of my favorite
that was
episodes. It's so ridiculous. But if that's the case, though, I guess he can't win a Pokemon League. He can't be in the tournament with just Mudkip. I mean, Mudkip's great enough that I think it would good. It could, but maybe he should have another team with him.
Yeah, so does Mudkip fully evolve? Does it stay Mudkip?
I would
What
have
did you have?
Marshtomp evolve during the Hoenn League. Maybe he battles Ash in the Hoenn League, and Marshtomp evolves, and that's what gives him the win. But it's a case of, hey, if Marshtomp didn't evolve, I don't know if this ends the same way.
It gives it its final boost of power needed to. Does he overcome Ash in the?
I think so, because like I went back and rewatched the Hoenn League. It's better than people give it credit for, but I'd rather have Brendan beat Ash than Tyson do it, because as much as I like Tyson, I'm just like, if we're introducing Brendan, then like we're gonna have to change some stuff.
Okay. I still think Brendan's not ready to win the league full out.
That's fine.
But I think he beats Ash in this, but it doesn't end their rivalry again when they get to the Battle Frontier. I see them still having battles, and it goes back and forth. Like, Ash wins the next one, and it gets like resets the rivalry to like either side could go.
Yeah, it still makes no sense to me. It's like, Tyson wins. I'm like, wait, but who was his last opponent? So maybe Brendan's Tyson. They both make it to the final two, similar to how Drew and Robert made it to the final two of the first Grand Festival. Because like, if you're gonna have somebody win a tournament, show the last battle. Like that seems inhumane to do otherwise.
Especially if it's a character we know. If you're gonna end it at like the final 8, where they do a lot of times, but you don't know necessarily all the characters. It's like, fine, whatever. But we knew the characters going into this at this point. So
yeah, maybe Ash could still beat Morrison, but maybe Brendan's kind of like, hey, if the closer we get, the more I want to beat. Like, he could have this dynamic with a couple of different people. Like if he and Lucas ever went up against each other, like there's no handshake. Like the ref would be like, all right, shake hands, and they both just look at each other. Like they're not shaking hands. Not because they don't love each other. Like those are buddies, but it's a case of, as a wise man once said, you don't hold back against your brothers. If anything, you hit your brothers twice as hard as anybody else.
Yeah, because you're pushing each other to be the best at this point.
Yeah. They wouldn't do the trash talk. Wouldn't get too bad or anything. It's just a case of, hey, we're like that's my guy, that's my family, but I'm putting you in the dirt.
Yeah. All right. So I guess back to his team. So
good God, that was down a rabbit hole, but that's okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the funny thing is, I have struggled coming up with this team because I didn't want to change too much from last time. At the same time, though, I do want him catching more Pokemon if he's going to be in Battle Frontier too, because I don't want him leaving the second the tournament's over. That said, before I do, just a little bit of sidebar. Do you know how many Pokemon Paul currently has? Like, whether it's in rotation or on his team? Do you know how many he has?
No, I do not.
17.
Okay.
That's I did not put 17 Pokemon though. That's too many. That's too many. But I did have a main team and like maybe some that he would switch in and out. If you have others, feel free to I'll throw you the ball and we can talk about it.
Okay. Yeah, I've got an idea that might be interesting, but I'll wait till the end.
All right. So I want him catching a Trapinch.
Okay, I can agree to that one.
Yeah, and it takes the longest to evolve, and when he's not, like, if he ever has food in his hand and he's not paying attention, Trapinch will go for the food, but also Brendan's hand will be in the way, and, yeah, what happens.
You said it takes to evolve, so does it evolve before Marshtomp? Like, is it a Flygon for the tournament, or does it evolve during Battle Frontier, you think?
I want to say Flygon. Maybe Vibrava evolves into Flygon, like during the Team Aqua, Team Magma arc. Like maybe it saves him at some point.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, Yeah, I do remember one episode where they were in a cave and Sableye kept causing trouble. Well, they do this episode all the time where it's like, oh, a Pokemon may be causing trouble. Oh no, the Pokemon's actually trying to help. I'd have the Sableye actually be the trouble. And Brendan's like, okay, look, you're doing the bad stuff, but you don't deserve to be attacked by the. Okay, maybe you do, but just why don't you just come with me?
All right. Did because I specifically do remember that episode because it's kind of like an abandoned mine, isn't it?
Something
at night
like that.
that they run into.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this episode.
Yeah, maybe he even has Sableye, because I even had him have Sableye learn Nightmare.
This is like a devious Sableye.
Yeah, kind of because I'll be honest. Look, my Sableye might be the cutest thing in the world, but I like it when it's a little devious. Not like blow up the plant devious, but like pull your pants down kind of devious.
Yeah, I could see it being like the troublemaker on his team, where it's not the most powerful outright attacker, but it has like hypnosis, has some weird stuff to his opponents.
Yeah, and it has keen eye, so if Flygon ever used Sandstorm, it's just like, hey, what? You thought my Sableye wouldn't be able to see in Sandstorm? Or come on, how dumb do you think I am? And everybody starts thinking about it. It's like, please, actually, no, please don't answer that. Please do not say anything.
What's next?
I'm sticking with Furret. I'm sorry, I love Furret too much to keep it off.
Okay, it's an interesting one to have on there because it's not necessarily from there, but we never really had a person in Johto use one long term.
Yeah, like maybe, and honestly, you could kind of apply to your idea because of the case of maybe Skitty would always chase its tail or something. Maybe Furt starts chasing a tail to lure somebody in, and it's like, okay, you got close enough, now Furt's gonna smack you.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. Yeah, that is similar enough to like it matches what Skitty could do.
Yeah. And maybe he says to Furt at one point, never tell May about this, and Furt just sort of gives him a confused look. But I'd have their dynamic be a little interesting.
Okay.
Like once again, I'm borrowing this from the manga because the manga's actually really solid. I'm getting more and more through it. But maybe it's because there's a chapter where Ruby saves a Pokemon from Team Magma because Team Magma's about to finish off this Pokemon, and Ruby says, "Not so fast. I have the item I have the scanner you're looking for. If you put your hands on that Pokemon, I'm destroying the scanner, so you get nothing." Hey, maybe it's a case of that. It's like he actually gives up something to Team Aqua or Team Magma in order to save. Maybe it's a Furret just trying to protect its home. And from that moment on, Furret sticks with them, and Furret's similar to James's Cacnea or Ash's Bayleaf when it comes to Brendan. Like, it is super affectionate.
It just absolutely loves him.
Yeah. And it gets to the point where it wraps around him, and he's like, maybe it's like he sends out Furret against James's Cacnea, and they both have the same thing happen to them. It's just like, we talked about this. Can we please do this later?
If he catches it at a center, I want it to be just tall enough to hit him in the jaw when it stands up right next to him, so it's just like this all the time.
Yeah. That, and I also, because as much I would have him compete in a contest. Maybe it's later on, and I'd have Furret learn Return.
Okay, so it has a happy move.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest, I looked it up. I don't think Return is ever really used as a move in the anime. Because I'm like, all right, nope, not here. Wow, really? Nobody? With how many Pokemon love their trainers, nobody has decided to use this? That's a little odd.
One of the strongest moves you can get if you have a fully happiness Pokemon. So
yeah, like maybe Furret launches into the air during the contest, and Brendan just says Return, and then Furret just pretty much comes down like a meteor and smashes him into the canvas, and they're just like, and the judges are like, "That's so beautiful. The love between the trainer and Pokemon." He gets a perfect score for it. And May's like, "Oh, crud, that's not fair."
And she's like, "He doesn't even do contests. How do you get a score?"
Yeah, that said, I do think she beats him, because as much as I love Brock competing in the contest, it made no sense with how one-sided it was, but that's another... Oh, no, I already talked about that. Never mind.
Yeah. Alright.
Main
Any
trick.
other Pokemon? Okay.
I really didn't have it. I just think main trick is cool as hell.
Okay. So
Like I said, it's just one of the cooler Pokemon, and I've only used it in like one, maybe two playthroughs. But I guess I should do the last one. Well, I guess last one,
last of the main one. Okay.
Shedinja.
Okay. So he has specifically Shedinja.
Yeah, maybe he has a Ninjask earlier on, and someone's like, "Oh, I know
Either.
he's gonna use he's gonna use Ninjask next," and he sends out Shedinja. And it's got look, Shedinja's a hard Pokemon to use, but if you know how to use it right, it can be pretty deadly.
I agree with that. It's a very difficult Pokemon to use when with its 1 HP and only takes damage from certain types.
Yeah, well, in Gen 3, it was pretty unstoppable. Nowadays, people know how to work around it, but once again, it's just we're not gonna start time traveling for this one.
Yeah.
All right. Did you have any ones that you were like, hey, maybe this would be a good idea? Because I have a couple, but these were just sort of backups.
I had maybe he has a Shroomish at some point. Like
Okay.
that's maybe he gets like the very angry Shroomish from that one episode. Just other than that, that was the only other thing. I would like him to have a Tropius for some reason as well. I don't know why. I just like Tropius.
I think that's Pokeflax's favorite Pokemon, so you made him very happy with this one.
Yeah, I think just like the Tropius, I don't know. It shows up maybe like one time he uses it to fly away or something, and then that's the end of it. It just doesn't show up again, kind of
Maybe
thing.
he gets embarrassed about something and his running shoes aren't working that well. It's just like, no, you're not running away from this one. Tropius, because Trapinch can't fly yet. It's like, is he becoming more self-aware that he just runs away from compliments? Yes, he is.
But yeah, those were kind of the only two I could think of that he could possibly have as rotational Pokemon.
Armaldo?
What was that?
Armaldo. Or Anorith, or whatever it starts off as.
Okay. Because it's very rare that somebody has a fossil Pokemon, so
Yeah, maybe it's one of his harder ones to raise, but that could be a hey, I caught this during Battle Frontier, and I was able to get it right before I left Kanto, and here we go.
And I did have the one that I've been trying to figure out which one I wanted to, but I want him to get something in Battle Frontier from Gen 4. It's kind of like a subtle reveal of something coming up, and I'm like, maybe he hatches an egg and it's one of the new baby Pokemon. Because May already gets Munchlax, so I'm thinking like, okay, is there something? Maybe maybe Drew's Roselia has an egg in it, and he gets it from Drew somehow.
It's just like, oh, it's so cute. Data not found. Oh, I'm gonna have to talk to the professor about this one because I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I do, like I said, going back to it, like, because I do want Team Aqua and Team Magma to have a presence. Like, maybe he gets destroyed by Maxie, and maybe he feels guilty about letting that one item slip. And Ashton approach him, it's just like, hey, what happened? And maybe he's beating himself up over it, just like, I messed up. It's just like, I gave them exactly what they were looking for, and I wasn't strong enough. Just go ahead, yell at me, and everyone's like, hey, it's okay. You did the right thing. It's like maybe it messes with him for a good bit, and maybe deep down he's like, it's hard for him to accept it.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be the like the one that failed to do what he thought he needed to.
Yeah, and maybe it's kind of a case of if he's even thinking to himself, like it doesn't have to be the same scenario, but it could also be kind of a case of like, look, all the stuff. My parents were Team Aqua and Team Magma members. Maybe it pays well. Maybe it doesn't. We don't know how much evil teams make or whatever. Maybe it's a case of like deep down he's thinking to myself, did I? It could even get into some sad territory. Like, was I the problem? Like, no, you're not. They are part of an evil. Like, it could lead to him like kind of showing he has really bad self-esteem, and deep down it's kind of a coping mechanism when he's cocky, only for his friends to be like, hey, dude, it's okay. Like, well, are you a pain in the neck? Yes, but that's what we like about you. Like, you're our pain in the neck, and that's kind of when he morphs from I'm a jerk, a little bit of a jerk, to like, hey, this is just me. If I'm like this with you, it means I like you.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Um, yeah, he can't express himself well. Sorry, I guess I can't either at this point.
Yeah. That said, while I don't want to steal everything from the manga, there is one thing I'm like, I want to keep this because I thought this was legitimately cool.
Okay.
Maybe at some point, because they never specifically say how long May has lived in Petalburg City. Maybe it's her whole life. I think no, I think they said their whole life. Maybe at some point he's visiting the Hoenn region, and then he even says, "Oh, I met the like." He even admits at some point that he met a girl who who didn't want to hang with Pokemon, and he kind of nudged her into the direction because May's like, "No, I don't want to like Pokemon," but maybe deep down, like that was the kick in the pants she needed, and she's the one who's kind of like, hey, I think like she's kind of the first friend he has because of all the stuff they're doing. And it kind of gets revealed later down the line. Oh, May and Brendan have known each other for years, but neither one of them were able to pick up on it. Be like, oh, wait a minute, you're the same person.
So kind of a situation that they kind of did that a few times later on, where, especially with Ash, where he doesn't remember, like, oh yeah, he met Serena, he met Go, he met Chloe, all
Yeah,
in
well,
the
the manga
past.
did it first, so if we're rewriting stuff, technically it's original.
Okay, yeah, and at least in this case, it's not with Ash; it's somebody else, like getting, in this case, with Brendan and May.
Yeah. And he could even kind of nudge her at the end because Drew was always like, hey, find your own style. And maybe Brendan's the one who's like, look, you can find your own style, but like maybe your own style isn't something you can do with other people because there are things in life it's like, hey, you have to do it yourself at some point. Like he kind of teaches her to be more independent while she teaches him, hey, you might travel on your own, but you're never really alone. You know that, right?
So something I've been debating, and this, because he doesn't necessarily go completely out of the series, like, but he could, at the end of the Battle Frontier, Ash moves on to Sinnoh. He doesn't follow Ash, right?
No, no, I wasn't thinking that.
Do you think he goes to Johto with May? Like,
That's the
not
one thing
necessarily
I
following
struggle.
her, but
That's the one thing I struggle with because deep down, I'd like to think part of it is legitimately, hey, I've grown close with these people, and deep down I want to keep spending time with them. But I also understand that everybody has their own journey. Maybe deep down he thinks to himself he wants to travel with her, but it's like, but he also kind of pushes her. It's kind of like, hey, I know what I want to do, but I'm kind of telling you what I have to tell you because deep down I know it's going to help you in the long run. Maybe if they returned in the X and Y series, then it's revealed, hey, we finally started traveling together.
okay, so maybe I could see maybe doing like the Orange Islands challenge or
Sure.
something. Like, Ash tells him, "Oh yeah, I beat the Orange Islands and am champion over there," and he goes, "I must do it," and he just runs off.
It's just you were a champion. Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think you can do that, right? Yes, I get. Yep, too late. I'm already doing it.
And it just cuts to him running over the water. It's not even that the like him like taking a ferry or anything. It's just him, like, that's the culmination of his speed. He's able to run on water now.
Yeah, yeah. But I do like your suggestion of he doesn't win the Hoenn League. Maybe he loses to Tyson in the last round, unless we want a real plot twist and we want Morrison winning, which I came with, but I don't think makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I think he ends up as I could see him coming in second place. He does better, like, and it annoys Ash, I think, a lot that, like, Brendan in his first tournament comes in second, and Ash
Yeah.
still hasn't even made it to the finals yet in one of these tournaments.
Yeah, maybe Morrison ends up beating Wally because I want Wally to make it, and I like sidebar. I want Wally to get Curlia, but it doesn't evolve until we see him maybe in Journeys or whatever, and he has a Gallade because I like Gallade for Wally more than I like Gardevoir.
Yeah, I like that. Because I think with Wally, that really shows like his growth, and it's supposed to be the same with how Ralts grows.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a case of they kind of his parents realize, wow, Brendan's the one who made you do this. We should be pissed, but you seem happier, so it's okay.
Yeah, I kind of one like a Bianca story element with Wally, where at some point his parents show up and are like, "No, you aren't well enough to go to continue on this journey. You need to come home." And Brendan is the one who steps up and says, "Have you seen all he's accomplished? He's got 5 badges or something at this point.
He's got
He's
five.
got a
He's got
team."
5 badges. Six. Serious? I'm still at 5, man.
Yeah, and it's just like, but yeah, and that can show his like how much he cares, like that Wally is there on this journey with him, but not with him. Like, you get what I mean?
Yeah, but Wally's still like Wally's still the person proving it. Brendan's just sticking up for him. It doesn't go like Ash versus Bianca's dad, and if Ash wins, it proves Bianca's safe. That still made no sense to me. I don't understand what they were trying to do there.
I could, yeah, I don't want that idea of a battle, but I want it to be like when they hear that you've got 6 badges, you're doing better than the friend who helped you start your journey. Like, and they're so proud of him, and they're like, and they come to accept that, yeah, he needs to go on this journey. He's
Wow, you're doing better than
there.
Brendan. Brendan's like, yeah, we already went over that. It's just like, I don't think Brendan's like, you please make it stop. Like I said, you can make a cocky character, but if you make them suffer enough, and not necessarily a horrible way, but like you give them their comeuppance in some cases, because like that makes them more manageable. Because if you just make a jerk to be a jerk, then it gets old fast.
Yeah, it giving him the humanity behind being cocky is the big thing, I think.
Yeah. And maybe it even kind of shows during the Hoenn League, because Professor Birds could be like, oh, I just came, like, deep down, he's like, oh, I want to see the Ash and Brendan go up in my students. But deep down, he's like, I want Brendan to know that someone's here rooting for him, because Wally's rooting for Wally. Tyson's rooting for you get the point. But Brendan, it's kind of like, oh, and like that motivates him in some cases. He still doesn't win, but it's like, hey, someone's there for you. Because like I said, Team Aqua, Team Magma said his parents said, well, we love you, but it's not going to work. But you get what I mean.
Yeah, I do kind of want to see like his parents. I think it would be hilarious. His parents get arrested during the final battle, and it cuts to, like during one of the battles, it cuts to them in like orange jumpsuits or the stereotypical like striped ones, and they're cheering him on the TV.
Oh
Just
my, sure, why not? Sure, why not? I
it's like
I don't know
they
why
do
I
care.
didn't
It's
think
just not.
I didn't know why I didn't don't know why I didn't think to myself, hey, if you're part of Team Aqua and Team Magma, maybe they should like be in jail, because Team Aqua and Team Magma are just sort of like, okay, we'll make a new future, we'll be better. And I'm like, look, I need more. I need to see how you guys redeem yourselves. Maybe down the line they do, and Brendan deep down's like, look, things are still weird right now, and maybe they're like, we're sorry, we don't want you to hate us. And he says, I never hated you. Who I was sad, I was hurt, but I've never hated you. And maybe this is the one where I'm going out on a bit of a limb, because maybe at one
Yeah,
point he Professor Birch said, like maybe he's really sick at one point and trying to catch something, and Brendan's just and he's like, look, just sit down here. Maybe Brendan stays over, and Professor Birch and his wife are like, hey, let's get you some soup, let's take care of you. Maybe at some point he says, look, they're taking good care of me, but once you guys get out, or once you guys are fully okay, just let's talk. Like, I still want to visit you. Like, maybe it's a thing for them.
yeah, where they have a bit of that reconnection, and they realize they part of their redemption is that we almost lost our son because of our own stupidity and obsession of doing what we thought we needed to.
Yeah, and like I want to say, they're not horrible people. Like they did what they did because, like, hey, maybe we can provide. Maybe this is what our son wants. But it's also a case of, why didn't you talk to him? Like it's kind of similar to James and his parents, and I guess technically Jesse's mom, because she was part of Team Rocket, but still. And maybe deep down it's like, hey, technically this is gonna get into some gray area. Maybe it's like, hey, remember, you put you gave him up in a sense. You still love him. You'll always be his parents. Maybe it's even revealed his mom made him his trademark hat, but it's like, he's is he your son legally? Maybe not, but he'll always love you. But that's where things get really kooky in a sense.
which version of the hat does he have? Does he have the one you were wearing, or does he have like the original one? Because I could see it, like if his mom's Team Magma, she makes the red one, and just
Yeah,
like yeah, it's
he
a
would.
subtle hint that
Yeah, but it's also a case of it's just like, well, maybe the one thing she remembers about him is, oh, his favorite color is red, so that's why I did. Maybe like because May in Diamond and Pearl, she was wearing her Emerald outfit. If he ever appeared in Emerald, and if even in a flashback or a fantasy, he could wear it. And in X and Y, he could be wearing the ORAS outfit.
all right.
Maybe it's even revealed at some point. It's like, hey, the birches, like, it's like, hey, until we find them, you're welcome to stay with us. And Brendan's just like, what? And maybe he even breaks down. It's like, sweetie, are you crying? What's wrong? He's like, I don't know. I'm just happy.
So there's one joke that I know has to be in the series.
I'm
at some
scared,
point,
but
and
sure,
this is
go
just,
for it.
I think it has to be a little kid runs up to him and says, "Oh, I like your white hair," and then just turns and leaves. Because
He's like,
again,
but,
when the games
sure,
came out, everybody thought it was white.
Sure, but why? I'm game for it. That. Oh God, to be fair, even I fell for that when I was younger, so I can't even fully hate that.
As I said, it's just one of those things that everybody thought he didn't have a hat on. He thought it was just a headband with white hair.
Yeah. Maybe even somebody at one point, even a little kid, like, because you could have him have a little bit of a fan base. It's just like, what? Oh, it's just like, and maybe the original little kid's like, that's not his hat. That's not his hair. That's his hat. How do you not know that? And Brendan's like, you made the same mistake. All right, you know what? It's okay. Hey, it's fun. Because maybe because there are a couple of episodes where a little kid will be going through a problem and the gang will be like, "Hey, we'll visit you again sometime," but then they never do. I'd have Brendan actually visit the people who are good to them. It's just like, look, because there was an episode with a little girl and a Scizor who were like terrorizing the town, and it's because her parents were always out, and Brendan kind of goes, "Look, you can't keep causing trouble, but whenever you want, I'll come play with you. Just let me know."
He gives her his Poke Gear or whatever. What is it called?
Yeah.
The whatever the phone system is in this game.
The Pokénav. Maybe, yeah, the Pokénav.
He gives her his number on the Pokénav so that she can call, and with how fast he runs, he's able to get there.
Yeah, or it's just like, hey, my legs are tired. Flygon, can you? And Flygon just takes him there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same, like I said, he grows to be very protective, and when Drew blows up at May when he's kind of going through his crisis, maybe Brendan's the one guy who gets a little overprotective, not to the sense that he ruins anything, but it's just a case of they both kind of have a talk. It's just like, huh, just like, you really care about May, huh? It's just like, no, like, well, yeah, but I care about you too. Just get your head out of your ass. He doesn't have to say that, but something like that.
Yeah, he's I'm trying to think. He defends May, but it's to call Drew out for his like overstepping.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it could even kind of be a case of after May loses the first Grand Festival, she's kind of down, and Brennan's the one person who picks up on it, and he kind of motivates her, and she starts smiling about it, and Brendan's just like, well, good. It's glad to see your annoying real smiles back. Your annoying real smiles back, because that fake smile was ticking me off, and everyone's like, oh, so you knew that was fake. And Drew could be like, well, no one likes seeing May smile more than Drew, so May smile more than Brendan. And Brendan just sort of gives him a look like, just, but May's legitimately like, he's a good guy.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think of like everything that happens in the series and just trying to figure out if there's more moments that he needs to be a part of.
Oh, well. Yeah, maybe it could also just be a case of it. Maybe he battles Watson after Ash, and it's like after his own main neck trick has evolved, and maybe it's like, hey, I actually kind of struggled going up against Watson because Ash's battle against Watson kind of stunk.
I'd like to see though he entered Watson's gym first, and that maze thing that he has where to start and. Ash just happened to beat him there though through that thing that he did.
The whole episode's just like, do you feel like we forgot somebody? He's just still in the maze, like, guys, I can't get it. Somebody please help me.
It's like, is this the same wall? This looks like the same wall.
Oh my god. Am I growing hair? Oh no, I'm not.
I've been in here for 5 days. And they're like, it was 2 hours.
It's,
But I've been tracking the days on my hand.
it's just like, Brent, you know how to count, don't you? Oh, they don't teach you that at Rustboro City. That no, he's not wrong there.
Yeah, they only taught me how to count my winnings when I beat other Pokemon trainers.
Brendan, you don't take money from people when you beat them, do you? Was I not supposed to? Oh my god.
Yeah, when they refused to get it to me, I just took their wallet and ran.
It's just like what? Like, so if you beat a little kid, Brendan's like, no. If I beat a kid, I'm not a monster. Wait, so you know you're taking money from these people? Yes. Something's wrong. Something's wrong with you. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he just admits, yeah, somebody has to pay for the Pokemon centers because nobody else does.
It's just like, yeah, I got a friend. I know I said it wasn't a time travel, but you could say, yeah, I got a friend in the Lola. He really needs this money. It's just like, Red, you're 4 generations early. Please don't.
So many references to stuff that hasn't come out yet.
It's like, you see, this is why we had to cut his screen time, because he kept spoiling shit. That said, I do have an ending for him.
Okay.
He's pretty much he's pretty much waiting, and to kind of backtrack, Ash and May both beat him in getting the 5 ribbons and 8 badges. Even though at one point he kind of sacrifices it because of that one episode where May says, "Hey, I'm gonna stay here and find Max, even if I miss my last contest." Maybe Brendan's the one who helps fix the motor in the boat, and he's like, "Look, there's a girl over there, and she really wants to make it to the Grand Festival. Like he doesn't say anything, but maybe it gets revealed, and like that's when it's like, okay, Brendan, you're like the nicest guy ever. Please don't hesitate about that. But Battle Frontier, I want Ash and Brendan having one last battle after they both conquer the Battle Frontier.
Okay. As I said, I think we agreed though he beats Brandon and wins the Battle Frontier before Ash does.
Sure. But at least to end this part of their rivalry, Ash versus Brendan in the final part of the Battle Frontier, Ash wins it.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. I can agree to that. Do you want him to show up with May in the Sinnoh the Wallace Cup arc at all?
Maybe he just shows up. He's just like, oh, it's just like, yeah, I figured you could maybe use some support. And he's trying to be cocky about, but May's too happy to see him, and it's legitimately a touching moment. Like, well, just do your best, okay?
You'd almost see him wanting to enter, but he shows up a little too late to like get in. He's like, because Ash enters, like everybody enters this one. It doesn't matter who
he might be able to enter. Maybe he has a new Pokemon. Maybe he has a new Pokemon with him. Obviously we're leaving the finals to May and Dawn because that just makes thematic sense.
Yeah, he does like Ash. He makes it through the initial round, but then loses somewhere in the tournament leading up to the finals.
Yeah. Maybe even if he wanted to compete in a contest next Y or a showcase, like I'm sorry, I hate showcases. I'm sorry, but maybe he's the one who he uses his contest outfit from the games. And maybe it's even revealed that Professor Birch and his wife are like, "Hey, we want maybe look. We know you're not a contest person, but maybe try this."
Yeah, it gives him it shows his growth of like accepting that contests are just another form of being a Pokemon trainer.
Yeah, maybe even he's whichever side of the family, because I guess technically he has 2 now. Maybe it's just like they're the one. Maybe when May has her contest outfit made, maybe the bow that's in her hair is just like, oh, and somebody. Maybe you could try. You said your outfit was missing something. Maybe a bow like this. I don't know. Oh, and she smiles and she just hugs him, and he's like. Like I said, he's a sweetheart. He's kind of a dick sometimes.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to be like sweet, like open sweet. Is his
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, he's the epitome of looks like he could kill you, but is actually a cinnamon roll.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, that's it. Like I said, though, he loses to Ash. Maybe it's Swampert versus Skeptile, oh, and they're like about to punch each other, but Skeptile gets the upper hand at just the last second, and that's when like they kind of shake hands, and there's a giant stadium full of people watching. Maybe the professor is there. Maybe everybody's like clapping, like, "Hey, you lost, but that was a great battle."
I think a big like kind of to do for the end.
Yeah. Yeah, and and it sounds like Ash might be willing to say something nice, but Ash just says, You think we're done, Brendan? No, no, we're not done. And I want to see you get better, and we're gonna keep battling each other. Got it?" And he says that in front of everybody, and Brendan kind of has his hat down, because he's kind of thinking to himself, and he kind of lifts it up with a smile. But you can also tell there are some tears because like he's been through hell, and everybody cheering for him kind of gets him through it.
All right. Do you want him to show up at all in Journeys like some of the others
I don't
did?
know.
Or...
Okay, so yeah, I'm okay. So I had my own idea, but it's also kind of borrowing off of one of your ideas from the last video, one of our last videos. So I can't fully take credit or blame depending on how terrible this is. It's maybe at some point because you said Ed Callum would eventually surpass Diantha and become the Kalos champion.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I would have Brendan finally do the same. Like he finally wins, but like, maybe it gets its own, like maybe the Masters 8 is instead of Steven, because Steven never showed up in this ain't his video. Maybe it's an Ash Brendan rematch.
That would be interesting. Like a whole bunch of the trainers come back as like Ash's rivals are now the like we've got the different champions of the different leagues are now Ash's rivals, and Ash is the Alola champion.
Yeah,
And
you don't necessarily have to make every single champion different. But like I said, Steve, like he had no interactions with Steven. Brendan would be more developed at this point. Like, and maybe that's also a case of May being like deep down being like, hey, like I used to be like, oh, well, I don't know whether to root for my dad or Ash, but in this case, it's just like they're both my friends. I want them to win. I want them both to do well.
And he at this point would probably have Mega Swampert, I assume.
So,
Would be his kind of gimmick.
Of course. Unfortunately, I think Ash wins this one too. Not that I'm against him winning. Well, if the Masters 8 is better this time around, I don't care. I'm perfectly fine with Ash winning.
I enjoyed the Master Day. There are definitely its problems. Maybe we'll discuss it one day.
Yeah, and maybe it's like it's Ash Ketchum from Pallet Town versus, and maybe this could even be a big reveal. Brendan Birch from Little Root City. It's just like that last name. It sounds and Brendan's like, oh, it sounds weird, huh? And Ash is like, sounds perfect.
That would be a sweet moment.
Yeah, and Brendan could legitimately smile and be like, well, I haven't seen you in a bit, but I still need to beat you here. We can hug later.
And I see Professor Birch being like the overly supportive dad type. He's pretty much the team yell, but just for Brendan. He's got like he's got Brendan's face painted on his chest and just
well, I'm perfectly okay with it. And I know a lot of people would be too, because I did some research and everyone's like, Professor Birch is so underrated. I agree. I really like him. I agree. And then a lot of people were saying stuff along the lines of, well, in the most PG way possible, they would like to take Professor Birch to dinner. And I'm like, oh, goodness. Goodness. I think I broke him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, large hairy men are apparently in nowadays. I don't know what to tell you. Wow. But like I don't like I said at this point May could still be traveling. Yes, I know. The whole May's voice actress is got sick, but in this universe she's perfectly happy and healthy, which is obviously the number one priority.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe as much as Ash has grown, Brendan can still find a way to get under his skin, so we get the old Ash back every now and then. Because as much as I love Ash, who's developed and grows kinder and more patient, Ash will roast you every now and then. It's Loki, I kind of live for it.
They kind of move away a lot of that, making Ash either the like goofy kid or the wise mentor with no in between.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe Ash could even say, "Oh, you guys are still traveling together." It's like, "Don't make anything about it, dude." And she's like, "I didn't say anything." What? And Ash doesn't realize that me what he might or may not be inferring. And Chloe's just like, "I get it, I see it." And she and it's like, "I." And Brendan's like, "I don't know who you are, but I don't like you."
And Go's just kind of there going, I don't understand either.
Yeah, I do remember we said that him and Callum would fight all the time, and everyone would be like, "Why do you guys hate each other?" And they'd be like, "What are you talking about?" Yeah, he's one of my best friends. What's up with them? I don't know. I don't know, dude.
I think. Is there any other points? There's not really any points in the other series where he can come in at a good spot, is there?
I didn't really touch Black and White because, dude, it's Black and White's a series that's it's been the longest since I've rewatched it, so I can't say. Hey, maybe there's a tag. Well, but the funny thing is, I did say, oh, maybe in the tag tournament in Sinnoh, Brendan returns and he teams with Lucas, but you didn't like that idea. You were very much like, oh, I don't know about that. I'm like, hey, man, I'm just throwing ideas out there.
There, I would need a good reason besides the tag tournament. Like there'd have to be a reason he's in there because it's too early before the Wallace Cup.
Maybe it's just a case of it's just like, hey, I got an old friend. Maybe they're going through a problem. It's like I have an old friend I can call. He's kind of a pain in the neck, but he's a good guy. And then that's when they call. It's just like, oh, you're with Ash and Brock, and I don't know you. It's like my name's Dawn. Like I still don't know. This is the first time I'm meeting you. I still don't know you.
Loves if he goes, it's Ash and Brock and May. No,
Like, no, you're
who the hell are
no. I
you?
like me. No, you're not May. You're not nearly as much of a pain in the neck. And maybe that's what he's done. Maybe it's when he dodges something. Just like, oh yeah, yeah. And maybe Lucas is paying just like, all right, great. Maybe it's like, oh yeah, we're friends, but we still keep in contact with each other. And maybe Lucas goes, all right, great. Hey, thanks, love you. And then Lucas pauses for a quick second. Brendan's like, yeah, I love you too. Bye.
All right.
I don't
Yep.
know much more. I don't know what more I have. As much as I would love him to dominate and win the Masters 8 and shove it in everybody in Petalburg's face, that doesn't seem like his thing. He's champion. He's already won.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. He, I think he goes to Petalburg and just goes, yeah, I'm your favorite person's boss.
Acknowledge me. Acknowledge me.
Literally, he's just like, yeah, I could fire Norman if I wanted to. I'm
Oh, but
champion.
But I like Norman too much to do that. His family's nice. Like Caroline. Yeah. Like Max. Yeah. Yeah. Like your crush May. Like my crush. Shut up.
Like they're pushing, like they're really pushing for May to come back, win, and become the winner of the Grand Festival in Hoenn, just so they could say, oh yeah, like when y'all get together, y'all be the king and queen of Petalburg.
And Brendan's just like, is it, Brendan's just like, you know, maybe Brendan even makes a passing joke. He's like, if we ever do end up together, we're leaving Petalburg. And she's like, agreed.
So yeah, I can't think of much more. As I said, I like the ideas that we've got here, and I think his Pokemon team has got some good balance for, and it doesn't really overlap much with Ash's or anything.
No. Oh, I don't really have a whole lot more, or I'll have a whole lot more for Brendan. I think compared to the first time we did this, it's a lot more streamlined. It makes a little more sense. Take some chances, but like, there's nothing wrong with that. We didn't go too fanficky with it.
Yeah, he fits into the story where there is kind of a hole in the advanced generation of the anime.
Yeah. The only thing I might add is when he learns to be a cook and Team Rocket tries this, they're like, man, your food's kind of salty. No, it's not. And then Team Rocket shows up. He's like, yeah, Team Rocket. Yeah, great. Just James me out. Try this. And they're like, it's not salty. And I'm like, oh my God. See, does everybody feel this way? Yeah, give me a minute. And it's like, you know what? Catch their Pokemon. That's fine. I'm going to work on this. But yeah, I don't really have anything. Brendan, a character who doesn't get a whole lot to work with, we did our best. I didn't just want to make him we didn't just want to make him a rival to Ash. We didn't want to have him be like, oh well, he shows up and he tries to win May's heart over over Drew or Ash, because that's just boring. Like, we want to make him an actual character. That's why I love these videos so much.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun to make because you have to think so much, and there's so many different resources to pull from for a lot of these characters to come up with what they are.
Yeah, exactly. And from Brendan going from still cocky but kind of lonely, but also realizing that deep down he has everybody. He has friends. He has people who have his back. And look, was his childhood fantastic? No, I don't know anybody whose is, in all honesty. But he doesn't let that stop him from achieving his dream. And like it doesn't always go well, but deep down he grows closer to everybody in home because of it. Except Hellenberg City, because that place needs to burn to the ground.
Except for Norman's gym, it can stay.
Maybe we'll talk about that another time. But I don't think we have anything else. I think the next one would be Black and White, because like I said, I don't think we're ever gonna do another Lucas video. But like, if crazier stuff has happened, Black and White would be hard though.
Yeah, I mean, at least with Lucas, we did him together completely. It wasn't just each of us talking about somebody else.
Yeah, but I guess that's another point to talk about. Once at another point for another day. But are we ready to close out?
I believe we are.
Okay, so, ladies, gentlemen, ladies, what do you guys think about our Brendan? What would you do to write him into the story? Whether it's something unique or something you've had in your head for a while that maybe it's not as original, but we still want to hear it. We still want to hear from you guys.
Yeah, and if you do have a preference on who we do next, let us know. There's still a good number of characters we can go through. I mean, we've done a good number at this point, but if there's specific characters you want, let us know who to add.
Yeah, I think we could do Black and White, but it would take a lot of doing. But we're willing to do it for you guys. Possibly, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of because we've done Sun and Moon, we've done X and Y now, we've done Gen 2, we've done Gen 3, we've done Gen 4.
We could always do Legends ZA, but
I don't know. There's not an anime for it.
Exactly, but it would just be similar to the Sword and Shield anime. But we'll talk about that later. But let us know what you guys think. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, be good to each other. We'll see you next time. This has been Alex.
And Richard.
And you have been listening to Anime Egotists. Good night, and peace easy.